Excuse me, what are you doing?
A shocking video shows a man purportedly utilizing his telephone to take photographs of a lady's skirt in a North Carolina Target store. Presently, police say he's having to deal with much more penalties. We're separating this shameless, terrible way of behaving and discussing the proof police have against the suspect with a computerized crime scene investigation expert.
You absolutely did. Then show me your phone. No, we're going to call security. You absolutely did.
North Carolina police are charging a 21-year elderly person with more crime allegations after he was supposedly discovered on camera peeping up ladies' skirts within a store. Indeed, this occurred toward the beginning of the day on Monday in the little city. To begin with, we need to have you to this video chance by an individual objective client. She shared the clasp on Facebook saying statement, "I came by the child area to take a gander at garments for my grandbaby." A young fellow was dubiously near me and holding his telephone at an exceptionally peculiar point. I thought perhaps he was attempting to Bluetooth my data from my telephone that was noticeable on my jumper. I was wearing a wide-leg one-piece jumper. I gave him a look, and he mumbled something about grieved. He was simply checking garments out. Then at that point, I saw he was getting truly near one more lady in the store. I concluded this was an over-the-top happenstance and chosen to follow him from a good ways. I put my telephone in the cup holder of the shopping basket and turned it on record to record him to see what he was doing. Well, Greenville police have distinguished the man in this video as Thomas Elliott. He really checks out different times nearly to check whether anybody is watching him. That is the way that I take a gander at that, yet he should not see that the other client's telephone is out there. Keep him in her post. The client said statement, "The resource insurance man came and conversed with us both. I showed him the video and he advised me to call 911. The police came, 3 of them, and addressed me, her, and the person subsequent to survey my video. They captured him. He had a go at letting them know he lost his equilibrium. Now Thomas was found in binds being driven from the store. It appears, however, that he was delivered, that is, until the exceptionally following day when police in his old neighborhood of Clinton got him, booked him into the prison on a $20,000 got bond. This is as per nearby news sources. You see, police initially accused Thomas of crime secret peeping as it's brought in North Carolina yet. Police accuse Elliott of 2 more crime counts of mystery peeping. So it seems like there could be more casualties out there. As a matter of fact, the Greenville Police Division is asking individuals who could have been in the store on that Monday to call the analyst working the case. So as I referenced, he was reserved under a body. From that point forward, there's been an extremely upsetting turn, since now it has become known that Mr. Elliott had contribution with both a nearby church and a primary school, a district school. Representative said that Elliott was a worker at Eastern Grade School in Greenville. In an explanation, Tom McKellen said, "We are upset and profoundly worried by video film of the person that has been shared via virtual entertainment and media sources. And in light of the recording, the singular won't be getting back to our grounds as a worker or recruited as a representative." Then, at a huge church called Open Entryway in neighboring Winterville, they likewise made an announcement saying, Thomas Elliott was promptly ended upon notice of his capture on Monday. Yet the congregation didn't get out whatever Elliott's contribution with their association could have been. Police say Target is completely helping out the examination, and analysts were worried that they could track down different things on his telephone, similar to youngster sexual maltreatment material on Elliott's telephone. However, they express such a long ways there's been no proof of that. No proof of any sort of improper contact. There's a warrant, which we know is a warrant for his telephone, and this warrant has been accounted for to say that Elliott denied any bad behavior and showed policing late pictures he had on his PDA, yet the warrant evidently looks for different things like video records and computerized photos. Instant messages and statements to erase require data that might be recuperated through a scientific assessment. Elliott had his most memorable court appearance on Tuesday. The one who posted the video via web-based entertainment finished her post by saying, "I'm sharing the video so you can be generally ready and mindful of your environmental elements. Make some noise and definitely stand out of individuals in the store. In the event that you see this occurrence, we as need might arise to pay special attention to one another." Computerized legal sciences professional Master John Lucas, pioneer behind e-criminology, resigned from the New Jersey head legal officer's office. "We should let me know your general considerations on this case since it is wild. You know, it never fails to stun me what individuals will do out there. And I think they get these thoughts from the web, you realize. I saw as of late additional a substitute educator was gotten exposed or in her vehicle, in a vehicle with a 17-year-old kid. I think they see this stuff on the web and they engage in these. Begin residing these dreams out, all things considered. And it's a disgrace since I think pornography has obliterated and precedes obliterate lives. He's free of guilt by default, having said that he was hit with extra charges once they saw his telephone. Why, as far as you can tell, do we see individuals record this? So envision, he truly did this. For what reason did you think he utilized the telephone? How could have a call of photos and recordings? I'm not saying he has an assortment of photographs and recordings, yet only expecting briefly. That is the thing we're managing, and I mean the claim at any rate is he utilized the telephone to, for what reason do we see individuals utilizing innovation like this? Well, you realize it returns over 10 years, where we see kids utilizing it to take pictures of themselves and dispersing those bare photographs of themselves. We see pictures of children thrashing different children on videos. It's a wild west out there, and I, for what reason, won't ever realize the inspiration. It's entirely conceivable that these things mean something to him, that he's driven by some dream and he needs to survey them again and again. I don't have the foggiest idea about that yet. I'm trying to say these are potential outcomes. My golly, what a story, Along these lines, you need to keep your eyes out for individuals around you. It's dependably smart to simply watch individuals in your day-to-day existence, particularly new individuals in your day-to-day existence, new companions, and new dates. New virtual entertainment pals. That is the reason I need to converse with you about truthfinder.com. Our extraordinary support here on the show. Truthfinder is a mind-boggling administration that can give genuine security to you folks. It's one of the biggest openly available report search administrations in the whole world. Their entire objective is to assist with peopling like you get familiar with the foundation insights regarding those in their lives. This is the carefully guarded secret, very straightforward by the manner in which you go on their site. Well, like you said, instant messages, email, they can email it to themselves. They can save it any place on that telephone that they approach. They can save it in their their recordings. And under their, what these police were doing at the time, they simply had to check whether he was truly doing this and he had proof on it. So once they saw those photographs, they presumably made the capture. And afterward, they held on to his telephone as per that capture. Now, they need a warrant to investigate its remainder, and afterward they will get a full assessment of that telephone. What amount of time does it require to do an assessment of a telephone? A full assessment of a telephone and its items, so PDAs can go to a terabyte now. So to picture that would require 2 to 5 hours perhaps, and perhaps less, relying on how much information is on there, the age of the telephone, yet for certain the size of the telephone. Once they picture it, then they can dissect that and begin investigating, and it's pleasant, the product. And there's a wide range of programming out there. Celebrate, there's XDIM key, and there's XRY. All extraordinary pricey items that can bring back erased records, can truly cause joins between one telephone and another telephone, yet they'll presumably do watchword look through, take a gander at every one of those instant messages who we offering the stuff to. In light of the fact that will be significant what catchphrase look through he was doing on his telephone, and I can't completely accept that it will end here. They will get that warrant that will likely request all possible PCs at his home. They need to understand what he's doing, and each all-capacity gadgets, whether it's a thumb drive or an outside hard drive. And, surprisingly, online frameworks, and to figure out what this person was doing, they can go out and you hit summons with his supplier and kept what they call detail records, which shows area data of where you are at a particular time. Perhaps they need to utilize that data to figure out what different stores he was at, on the off chance that he had a droid. Google has something extraordinary called Google Course of Events. They can get to that Google timetable and find out precisely where he's driving. He's cruising all over different schools. He's cruising all over regions where he doesn't have a place. And he's simply searching in neighborhoods for youngsters once more. I'm not saying he's doing that, but rather these are potential prospects that police, and I want to trust they will do all that. That is a truly valid statement as far as how it could expand past what's simply on his telephone. I need to ask you the enormous part, and this is $1 million question. Assuming that he erased something, could it at any point be recuperated? And how might it be recuperated? Indeed, it very well may be recuperated by scientific programming. Yet everything relies upon the movement of the telephone and the size of the telephone, so the more modest the gadget, Similar to whether it's a 64 gig or 128 gig, information will endure a ton. Less on a telephone in course of events rather than a terabyte drive or terabytes stockpiling on a mobile phone. So then, at that point, in the movement, am I receiving a great deal of messages? I'm getting instant messages. I'm getting recordings and pictures. A wide range of mixed media messages to and fro, all that movement. Ideally, assuming a person like this is a maverick, there won't be a ton of action, and they'll have a greatly improved possibility of recuperating everything under the sun that has been erased. Hello everyone. So one of my number one things about being a host here on Regulation and Wrongdoing is the way energetic are crowds. You don't simply relax and take it all in. No, you draw in, you leave remarks, you give us iffy criticism, you spread the word. But your viewpoints can't let you know the amount we value that and worth that. And perhaps of the most prominent sentiment that we have seen is the amount you love our police cross-examinations, and I need to concur in light of the fact that they are so flighty, they let you see firsthand the way in which criminal investigators reveal reality behind a wrongdoing, the systems they use, and what suspects and litigants say are so significant at preliminaries. I can't let you know enough. Indeed, I'm eager to let you know that we here at Long, we're discussing the minutes when executioners break misleading admissions and the most intricate cover-up plans that actually appear to fall flat. You can look at it, buy in, and let us in on your thought process. Click the connection in the portrayal to step inside the cross-examination room on Regulation on Wrongdoing cross-examinations. Could you at any point decide when something was erased? Definitely so. The date of erasure depends on prior to the last access date, in light of the fact that once you erase something, you can't get to it again. Right, so in the event that it has an erasure date of today, for instance, 4/18, it could never have been gotten to after that. So it needed to have been erased that, or before your nothing has an erase date on it that says it was erased, in light of the fact that relying on the way things were erased, it may not change the entrance date yet, in the event that you keep going access on the 18th. Positively, it was still on your telephone on the 18th, so it's either at the latest the last access date. And just to explain, assuming something was erased quite a while back versus 5 months prior, it's harder to extricate that, get that information back above all else. I don't think individuals have telephones for a long time, yet. I realize I don't yet suppose that that is the case. No, it's not it. Won't be much harder, it will be exceedingly difficult in light of the fact that, in view of all my experience, and I've been doing this for quite a long time, I did it with the State Coordinated Wrongdoing Department when I was with the Principal Legal Officer's Office, and I've been doing it 25 years in the confidential area, in light of all my experience that we measure information, misfortune in long stretches of time. Not long stretches of time. I've seen information keep going on a hard drive for more than 3.5 years. And we can bring it back not on a PDA, but rather they got this fellow, and he had no clue they were coming for him, so they got him off guard, got to accept that he didn't get an opportunity to erase a ton, and simply making a supposition, assuming you're that wild. And by the manner in which, look, this could likewise be a circumstance. Whether he truly did this, could it very well. Maybe someone plainly experiences difficulty with containing hindrances. Yet the explanation I reference that is since, supposing that he's so foolish to go into a public store and utilize his telephone in like that. And that is what the claim is. I couldn't say whether he'd be a similar sort of individual to erase data once he gets it, or would he keep it. You realize I couldn't say whether he was that aware of it again. This is charges as of now, and with that thought, I ought to let you know the detailing is they haven't found anything in regards to kids, in regards to any sort of kid porn or whatever would take advantage of a kid. In what direction I really looked into North Carolina regulation, and there was a resolutions in regards to sexual abuse of a kid. Intense crime that would be in the event that your recording CH kids participated in. Sexual action again. Let me get straight to the point. He has not been accused of that. They have not tracked down proof of that. But rather, what do you think they were looking on his telephone concerning kids since? Supposing that he had this sort of he was working with, or a relationship with a grade school, what explicitly were they searching for on his telephone and making the assurance as of now we haven't found? Whatever would recommend that whenever somebody's captured for a wrongdoing, for example. Similar to one side, and they realize that they worked with youngsters, they will be searching for CSOM sexual, kid sexual maltreatment material. Undoubtedly, it's an insightful step that they need to take. They would rather not be shocked and figure out that they had someone they didn't circle back to it. And he was into that, so like I said, I think this warrant will extend well beyond past his telephone. They go into his house, they will snatch every one of his gadgets that he has, that is anything electronic, cell, extra cells, even old cells, thumb drive, outside hard drives, and all possible PCs, regardless of whether it has a place with him. They'll figure out that later, since you would rather not go in and figure out that somebody deceived you and said, well, that was not his, that was another person's, and you didn't take it, they will take everything. John Lusich. Wow. What extraordinary training. Allow me to ask you genuine Speedy before I let you go. Do you work in wireless triangulation, how to pinpoint someone, or any such thing? We accomplish such a great deal of it. We work murders with it. We work drug manages it. We totally do missing people. All things considered, I believe that everyone should look hard and long at John, since I will get back to John when we discuss the Brian Kober case. I love JJ's viewpoint on that, so that is everything that I will say to my makers toward the finish of my desired show. JN. Back to discuss that case, since I think John Lusich from organizer from E-Lega. L Sciences, what an incredible asset we offer our administrations free for policing, who needs our assist with willing assist them with going down the right street with thoughts and even labor. Great. Thank you kindly for coming on, truly appreciate partake in the conversation. Thank you, God favor, and I'll address you sometime later. Thank you so much for watching Gossip Now.